Hello, everyone.
Hi, everybody. It's not love and libations, but
No.
we always libate. So
We're the iWonder sisters. I'm Kim,
I'm Andy.
and we welcome you today, this Saturday after Thanksgiving. We hope that you all had a really beautiful, delicious, and peaceful holiday. We really do. Ours was wonderful. It was peaceful. We had fun. We watched the parade. Um, we had a great meal. I cooked everything under the sun.
She did. Let me tell you, and we still have everything under the sun.
And there's so much food, but we're so happy with it. I mean, we've been eating it for breakfast, lunch. So yes, it was really nice. So we hope that you all had a Thanksgiving that you can truthfully say that you enjoyed as well. So this is Conversations, our weekly Saturday podcast show. And today we're going to be talking about a few things. At the end, we have a little haul because here's the thing. Andy and I are really going through a process of um, restyling ourselves to match the inside. I think most women can relate to the fact that as we grow and as we age, we change, and many of those changes are wonderful and for the better. So it's not just about not feeling young or anything like that. The changes that we want to reflect are the really great positive changes, the freeing changes, the releasing of a whole lot of stuff that you tend to carry around when you're younger.
Aging is very transformative
It is.
in so many ways and on so many levels. It's not just a physical transformation.
No.
It's an emotional one, a spiritual one, a mental one, and um, and it's really interesting. I have to say, it's a really interesting time, especially as you approach menopause and your body kind of thickens a little bit. I can remember the day I woke up and felt my body had thickened, and I was anorexic at the time, but it really, I could feel it in my inside myself, and but the transformation is so completely um, the entire being. It's not just a physical one. Excuse me. And it's important to remember that,
Yeah.
and um, to try and keep up with your body's changes as you transform yourself emotionally and spiritually. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, for those of you who might be in your 20s and 30s, I have to say, some positive news to you. I mean, I really am enjoying the process of changing, of looking different, of feeling different. Um, and it's really all about just adjusting yourself. Once again, it goes back to acceptance.
Exactly.
And that's how you remain beautiful inside and out, because you're not trying to be something that you were 20 years ago, because there's actually very little of you left of that. Our bodies are always renewing themselves, and so are our minds. And so it's really, I'm quite enjoying the process very much. So I wish for all of you young women out there who may be watching us, I wish for you the same grace, um, acceptance, balance, and peaceful time getting older, and really enjoying the person that you are becoming. So it's really nice. So, so we want to talk today also about people who really find the holiday season to be extremely stressful. Um, and just to clarify, Andy and I both have lost a lot of people we really, really love, um, that we always remember, not just on the holidays, but every day. We both have had holiday seasons filled with so much of life and things to do and healing to do, that they weren't necessarily jolly. So we're not talking about um, those types of feelings that come up during the holidays. We all miss those we love, not just on the holidays, every day. Many of us always wish we had more money. We wish we, had more freedom in our budgets to spend so we could buy everybody gifts. We wish, we wish, we wish. And wishing and hoping are a part of the human experience. What we're talking about today are the things, once again, that you can control. The people that you see in January that greet you like, oh, did you make it through the holidays? Those people. It's like, it's so much, you know what I mean? I had to buy 35 gifts, my wife's family's a drag, all those kinds of things, the things that we can control, because we can control a lot of how we feel at any given time. And so I just wanted to clarify for you where we're coming from, because we are certainly not people of what they call charmed lives. We have experienced a lot. We haven't had, we've experienced abundance, we've experienced lack, health, sickness, all those things. Having a family and friends around, losing family and friends. Okay, so we want to today to give you some encouraging words, and one of those things is that you control how you feel. And when it comes to the holiday season, one of the things that I feel causes people the most stress and the most amount of angst is that you insist on doing things that you're not able to do. You want to do a whole lot of stuff, and you feel sometimes not even that you want to, but in many ways, many people feel pressured to spend a certain amount of money, to give all the co-workers gifts, to buy gifts for all the nieces and nephews. And your budget, your situation right now may not allow for that. So if you do it anyway, it's going to be nothing but stressful. We want to say to you that it is so freeing. It really is, to see the holiday season in your own way, to reshape it into something that's meaningful to you, and to take the stress and worry off of things that you simply aren't capable of doing. We're all adults here. Those of you who have children, there are ways to speak to your children and spend time with your children and engage them in the process of what giving means, of the cheer of the season, baking cookies, making desserts. Engage them in the process of using their hands to make crafts, puzzles, art collages, things like that, so that they're not so focused on having 12 toys. I have a brother who is 11 years younger than myself, so I was able to watch myself grow up and then him. And he wanted everything in the world. And my mother could afford a lot. But still, by the end of Christmas Day, literally 2 or 3 of those toys he so much wanted so badly were either broken, or he lost interest and had moved on to something else. So if you have children, what I'm saying to you is that if the budget is really tight, find creative ways, make one gift or 2 gifts really special, and involve them in the process of the season, so that they're not waiting from Thanksgiving until Christmas just to get.
I think also you have to start with kids very young. They have to understand that the spirit of the holiday season has nothing to do with gift giving. And and that it has to do with being with loved ones, family and friends that you love, and that doing what you can is always enough. You have to
Exactly.
feel like you're enough,
Yes.
and that whatever you can do is enough for those around you.
That's right. And I mean, and this is especially to me for small children who have certain expectations of what Christmas means to them. And as Andy said, which I think couldn't be more important, the younger you expose them to the more uh, emotional, spiritual aspects of the season, not religious. This is for people who have no religion. You're not spiritual at all, or you have an alternative form of spirituality, as we do. What we're saying is that we're all spiritual beings, and there's an aspect of all of us that is connected to that. And the younger you can have your children balance themselves between the television and toys and all the new stuff that comes out this time of year, and just enjoying the feeling of putting the tree up, being with family. If you celebrate Hanukkah, teaching them what it means each night. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, which is very similar with the candles, and I think it's 7 days as well. Teaching them and really giving them like the whole of the season instead of just it's about the list that you make that you get on December 24th or 25th. They'll feel much more fulfilled. But you do have to start young, because if
Yeah.
they're 15, I'm sorry to say, if it's always been material to them, and you've catered to that, and you come upon a time where you really can't do it, it'll be more difficult to explain to them or to change their way of thinking. But you need to be truthful with your children so they can know the ins and outs of life.
And also, I think it's important to give them the kind of strength they will need in order to, because kids play with kids.
Yeah.
And your child may know a child that whose parents have a lot of money and can buy him or her a great many things, and your child has to feel secure and content in the knowledge that what you do for them is plenty.
Indeed, indeed. And it requires something that I think, you know, any real parents do anyway or should do, and that's just simply spending time engaging with your children. Their people. Spending time with them, talking to them, seeing how they feel about things, listening to what they say about the season, what they hear their friends saying, they'll always
Mhm.
repeat, so that you know where they are.
I think what Kim said earlier about engaging them in gift making
Mhm.
um, can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask your children what do they think grandma would like,
Mhm.
you know, and make it.
Yeah.
And they not only get to create something for grandma, but they also get to express themselves creatively and spend time with you having fun.
Exactly. And
And that's also part of what the holidays are about.
yeah, a lot. I mean, we love it. It's so, I mean, listen, I mean, like, we're adults, and of course, we're not waking up Christmas morning to 10 toys under the tree. But it's so much fun for us, and that is the main thing for us. It's just the fun. It's like it's in the air if you allow yourself to feel it. And then you got all the corny specials on. We love to watch it, all of that stuff. And your kids. I wrote an article for Tuvia about this as well, in that it's also fun to, if you have more than one child, if you have 3 or 4 kids, to get them involved in seeing what the other one might want.
Mm.
Get them all involved in the act of giving, and not just receiving. It also, over time, will teach them that it takes um, income, money, a budget, that these things aren't just appearing out of the blue, that you plan for them, that you really want to give somebody something because they mean a lot to you, and you see a gift that makes you smile and think of that person like they'd have to have it. It involves them in the circle of life, giving and receiving, and will help them not to be just so focused on, did they get exactly the very 5 things they put down on the list. So it's really important. As for adult relationships, this is how I feel about gift giving among adults. If you can easily do it and there's 25 people on your list you can get something for, then great. If you can do it with ease. If it's going to put you in debt for the next 6 months, then that means that you're not able to do it with ease. Um, so I feel that adults, we should assess what we can do, and who we can give gifts to. And then if you find that you're in a real tight situation, like what my mother did one year, when she bought her condo. My mother had a home that she sold, and at this time she wanted something smaller and more manageable. And she bought it around this time of year, and because it was a great price. And all she did was the people that she normally gave gifts to, and she and I did this for each other. She said, listen, my budget's really tight. I just bought a house. I've like given up a lot of money to do this, and I don't have a lot of cash. But I can buy food. I love to have company. We can make a couple cocktails and invite people over, and those people that normally got gifts from both of us were invited over. And actually, it started a new tradition for us because before that time, the years that Christmases we were just rolling in cash, we always spent a lot of money. We buy each other, 5 gifts, buy my brother 10 gifts, and all of that. My cousin Janice, buy her a bunch of gifts. And so Christmas Day, the opening of the gifts was like, pretty much like the height of our excitement. But when that year came, and I was like 19, I think, or something like that. When that year came, and we invited people over to just celebrate and have a good time, after that, that was when our Christmas Eve tradition started. And then we had a cocktail party every Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve would just be so magnificent, and we'd stay up all night, and then Christmas Day was just like pajamas and food. So it started for us even a new tradition. It gave us something that we really, really enjoyed. I mean, it got to the point where it was all about Christmas Eve. Who's going to come? Who's going to make it? And all that. What are we going to have? Do we do tapas? I mean, it just really added something to our lives. But what it did, most importantly, was it freed us from the feeling that we had to give everybody gifts, even when we could not afford it. I mean, how was it for you guys, like growing up? Your parents were like big gift givers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had the means to do it.
Mhm.
But I was just thinking while you were talking, there's a whole group of people that we're not talking about, because we are talking to people who have some money and can do some things, even if it's just cook a meal. But there are people that have none of that.
That's right.
And I think it's really important in the spirit of the season to teach your kids that giving back is as much fun and as rewarding as getting a gift. And spend some of your time at a soup kitchen, feeding the homeless, doing some volunteer work. A lot of churches do special Christmas dinners before the actual day for their homeless populations. and they're always looking for people to help serve. And I think it's really important to remember that some people have no family to go to, um, and no money to do anything. They live off government stipends, which are pennies, and so many of them, all they do is smoke cigarettes and buy their food on food stamps and eat whatever they can. So it's really important to teach your kids that giving is the real fun.
Yeah.
Seeing people's faces light up at a good meal um, is so important. And there are so many homeless shelters and food banks where you can go and volunteer. They're all over the place.
Yes.
Um, so there's no dearth of them. They're very easy to find if you look.
And we live in the state of New Mexico, which is a small state, very small state compared to many, the ones that we came from. And here, I've been told that there are a lot of shelters, soup kitchens, organizations that help people that have no place to live, and have no family that can to help them, or take care of them. So if New Mexico is abundant in it, I know that every state is. So you can always find some way to help. And there are also those people that are quietly sort of in poverty. You know, um, they may have a house to live in, but it takes every penny that they have, because they're also buying medication or something like that. Um, there are a lot of those people. So if you do live in an area where you might know Mrs. Jones, a couple blocks over or something like that, somebody that you feel may be struggling financially, a nice warm plate of food to say, hey, we made a lot of food, we thought about you, is a great thing to do. Also, gift cards for supermarkets. When I had a Christmas that I had no money, no income whatsoever, and I had gotten down to my very, very last. And I was fortunate enough that an acquaintance of mine said, oh, I was at a client's house, and I told them I was worried about you. I was concerned about how you were doing. And I told them that, your job closed, and it was a shock. You didn't have anything, and you were really struggling. And the person actually gave her a gift card to Publix to give to me. It was like and the person didn't want me to know who they were.
My sister once gave me a gift card to Publix.
Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest thing to be able to buy food, because that's not a luxury. We need that. And I'm telling you, it was just like, I felt so grateful, so I can't even tell you. This was someone that didn't even know who I was. So those are wonderful gifts to give to people, families that are struggling, families with children, single mothers, single fathers, people that are really like always every month at the end of their budget. So
also, Kim said, if you know an elderly person who lives alone and has no family to go to on Christmas, um, bringing that person a Christmas dinner that you've cooked um, will delight them.
yeah.
I mean, they will be absolutely delighted and so happy that somebody thought of them and thought to include them. And I mean, if you can have that person over, to join your family, so much the better. But if you can't, bringing them a Christmas dinner is just the perfect gift.
Yeah, it is.
People need to know that they're remembered and thought of. I worked in the mental health field for a while, and I worked with a population of um, very low income, totally subsidized human beings who had nothing, who would sell their medications because they were mentally ill. They would sell their medications for crack. And come the holidays, they had no place to go, nothing to spend, and most of them were alone. And those are the people that I think about a lot this time of year.
Yeah,
Um,
me too.
those are the people that need to know that somebody cares.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, we're all different, so you have to do it in your way that you feel comfortable doing it. Some people, it really energizes them to be hands-on, to go to a soup kitchen. Other people um, are not wired that way. It may be depressing to them. So you can always offer things to soup kitchens as well. You can take canned goods and non-perishables, bags of dry pasta. So if it's more fitting for you to just go and say, is there a need here that I can fill? Do you take canned goods? Then do it that way. Because giving in its most authentic form should feel good. And if you feel stressed, or you're afraid to go into a certain neighborhood, you're uncomfortable around people who might have mental illnesses or drug addictions or things like that, then it may be best that you not be a hands-on person.
There are a lot of agencies that you can go through
Yes.
and still give back without having to be one-on-one with somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the agencies, there's a plethora of them.
Yeah.
You know, all you have to do is like call the Red Cross or call the United Way, um, and they can point you in the right direction in whatever area you live in. Um, and going through agencies gives you the feeling that you've done something good for
Mhm.
somebody,
Yeah.
without having any anxiety about doing it. Because, like Kim
Exactly.
said, some people are very hands-on, and some people can't cope with
Yeah.
people in dire straits, um, but they can still give.
Yeah.
And so you do what feels good for you.
Yeah, definitely, because it should feel good. It should feel right. You know. So yes, so if you though are in the group of people that you have an income, some sort of income, and maybe this might be a year that you were downsized on your job, or you got divorced, or whatever the case may be, your finances are just not the same. um, I really feel like as adults, uh, to other adults, that we should be able to free ourselves of that and say, listen, I'm not able to buy all those gifts this year. I wish everybody a beautiful holiday season. Make cards, buy cards. If you can still spend some money, buy some beautiful cards and send to people. But I just really want to stress that the cheer and the joy that the season should bring is not up to the time of year, it's up to you to feel that, to generate that, to stop doing things that you can't do. I mean, that's the real talk, is that you stop doing things that you can't do, and assess, take some time to go within and find out why it's so difficult for you to release that. Why you feel that you got to pull out every credit card out of your pocketbook, even though when the bill comes, you're not in a place to really pay these bills with any ease. There's something going on there that's causing you to not feel free enough to honor where you are in your life. And I think that's something to really like meditate on in your own way. if you feel some distress in me saying, tell the adults in your life you're unable to buy them gifts this year, which is a simple thing, which is something that a lot of people and almost every average working person is going to go through at some point in time. So if you're distressed about even hearing that, um, I would say that there's something that needs to be tended to within you that makes you feel that these people are not going to feel the same about you or think a certain way about you or any of that. If you find distress in hearing me say, if you're an adult and you have a regular job, um, and you cannot afford to buy all of these people in your family a bunch of gifts or expensive gifts or go to Macy's and buy those gifts, if it distresses you to have to say to people, I'm just not really buying gifts this year because I can't afford it, uh, then there's something going on there. And like with everything, there's all these levels.
I guarantee you, the people that love you will not
yeah,
give a shit.
exactly. They
They're
will not.
really not. Really, really not. They're going to love you just as much, maybe more, for being honest. And Christmas is a time to spend time with people that you care about, and the gift giving has become, unfortunately, a very big part of the Christmas season. And I think people lose sight of what the spirit of the season really is. I also want to address people who are really going through bad times, illness, depression, stuff like that. I mean, this is a period of time where everyone is supposed to be happy. What do you do if you're not happy? You have to honor yourself. You can't walk around going ho 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 if you don't feel like ho ho ho. And a lot of people are like that. I mean, I was telling Kim the other day that the suicide rate over the Christmas holidays goes up in this country. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that people just can't muster that feeling that they think they're supposed to have.
Yes.
And feel twice as bad about themselves, which they already feel bad about themselves, because they can't do it, and spend the holidays by themselves. I think if you're one of those people and you're suffering from depression or you're going through a serious illness, and you just can't get yourself out of the emotional state that is bringing you down, you have to honor that and do what you need to do for yourself. I mean, there have been many Christmases when I've been clinically depressed, and I just spent time by myself, and I had a fake tree, and I would get ornaments and light it up and stuff, and people who cared about me understood that I was just not going to be a part of the merrymaking because I just didn't have it in me. And some people don't. And that's okay. You have to know that that's okay.
Yeah, that wow. I'm so glad that I'm glad that you mentioned that and brought that up because it's so true. I mean, it's another part of honoring where we are at any given time. Is anything else is fake, and fake is very hard. Fake living in any sort of way that's not authentic is difficult, stressful, and very tiring, and it can make you ill if you aren't. Um, I think one of the most healthiest feelings that I have is being able to be myself. To say, this is what I can do, this is what I can't do. You know, and once you let it out, I mean, it feels like a weight is lifted off of you. And I think everybody deserves that feeling of knowing that, that they're loved for who they are. for
Mhm.
just who they are. You know, you all deserve that. Um, it's a great feeling, you know, it's a great feeling to really know that you're okay and that you can be whatever it is that you need to be. And as Andy said, and the people that truly love you, which will always be the smaller group, you know, I mean, always be the smaller group of people. Um, but if they truly love you, they support you in what you need. And if you need to be alone, if you need to be just like out of it this season or whatever, then they're fine with that. They know that. And as long as they know what's going on, I think sometimes when we lie to people because we're lying to ourselves,
Mhm.
they don't know how we really feel. And so then you show up, but they can tell that you really haven't shown up, and then it's like, oh, what's wrong with her?
Mhm.
So when we tell people where we are, when we honor where we are, when we're truthful with ourselves about where we are emotionally, then we can be that to other people, and then they know, you know. So there's freedom in authenticity, and as I said, you know, if there's nothing wrong and you just feel like everybody expects to get a certain kind of gift from you and there's nothing wrong, then you need to really, really woman up and realize that the stress and the angst you feel is in your power to release.
Yeah.
You know, that's the bottom line. If you're just buying stuff, you know, just because you feel like it's expected or people are going to think you're a certain way of you, if you don't show up with all these gifts, you've got something going on in here that only you have the power to change. If you're one of those people that gets to the end of the season and January 3rd, you're like, oh, I'm so glad I made it through the holidays. Okay, there's something going on with you, and you need to take the power and free yourself of that because apparently you're not enjoying yourself. You know, I mean, Anthony and I both have had short times working in retail, and which made us decide we would never do it again.
Yeah.
Never.
I
You,
got fired.
and you know, and I didn't. I quit. But because eventually I would have been fired. So, but I actually had people who would say to me, "Oh, I'm buying a gift for my sister-in-law. She's so hard to please. This drives me crazy every single year." And I'm like, you know what people get from me who are hard to please? Nothing. And that's what I told her. If I was going through that much stress, buying someone a gift, feeling as if though they're probably not going to like or appreciate it, they wouldn't even be on my list. So this is something that she was doing to herself because as adults, we don't have to wake up to anything on Christmas morning, and there have been the last 10 Christmases I probably haven't woken up to anything. But if I had food to make a meal or television, I was like all in it, you know. So you know, for those people who don't have really distressful circumstances or things out of your control, but you're putting all this weight on yourself to do things because of what you think people think about you, you have to free yourself from that.
Yeah, that's really important. Other people's expectations do not matter.
No.
They belong to them and not to you. Um, if you don't release that, you're bound to have a stressful holiday.
Indeed. You know, we understand then why it's not jolly, why you're not having fun, you know, and all that, why you feel so tired on January the 2nd, if that's how you're living, you know. But only you can change that.
Mhm.
You know, you can free yourself of that and create new traditions, create new meanings for yourself and your family. So it's up to you.
I mean, Kim and I this year are creating our own traditions
Yeah.
because we're not around family or really close friends from the past, and um, and we're having a blast.
Yeah.
We're having an absolute blast.
Yeah.
So, and we don't have a lot of means.
No.
You know, we have to plan for everything, and we're still having so much fun.
Yeah. and,
So,
exactly. We love, both of us love the season. We love this time of year. Um, there's just something so beautiful about it. Once you remove yourself from that space of being stressed out and expectations, there's something so beautiful about it, and it's a lot of fun, and we enjoy all the little things that come with it, the musicals, all that stuff that comes on TV, and it's just real simple for us, um, but we really have a lot of fun. So this year is our first year in New Mexico, and maybe it'll snow because it already has snowed. So there's a great possibility that it could snow. Um, but we'll go out and look at the beautiful night sky here. We live in the mountains. So it's going to be great. And simple.
let's show our haul.
So we're like buying stuff, as Andy said. We plan to buy stuff. We showed you some stuff last week. I think that, okay, this is what I want to show. I think this is the only thing that's in here.
Okay.
Okay, so we're adding, to our new makeup collection. It's hard to see on this webcam because my lips are very pink. Um, and so the next thing that I'm going to get actually is like a concealer or something so that I get a true color. But anyway, this is like a really cool product. It's Rimmel London. They call it the Show Off Lacquer. And this is it in Stargazer. Okay, so I was looking for a nude. That's really pretty. And you might not be able to see like all the hair. A little bit closer. It has a slight sparkle to it. It is on my lips right now. It is kind of pretty.
It is beautiful.
And it's like under $3. So this is Rimmel London, and it's just, and look, and really nice packaging for the amount of money that it costs too. So this is a lip lacquer, and it's a brush. For those, I find that I really like these a lot. So we're not artists, makeup artists. We are artists. We're not makeup artists. Andy does a really great job of doing makeup, and I believe it was the first holiday that I met Andy that I think you did do something to my face, and she's done my face a couple times. Um, and so, like, I'm kind of learning right now what I like and what I don't like, because it's not the same as what it was 20 years ago. The colors that I was drawn to and things like that, they're just not the same. So I'm trying to figure it all out. But I really did want an everyday nude, and it smells delightful.
This is the charming Chloe, the
This
Muppet
is
doll.
Chloe loves her infinity show. Oh my god. She's so adorable. So I have that, and then Andy was looking for. I mean, I love it when you have something in your mind, like you're like, oh, I'm picturing this lipstick or nail polish, and you find it, because when we were on our way out to run errands today, Andy said, I would really like to get a nail polish, and I'm looking for a deep burgundy, and that color looks great on her nails. And I was like, yeah, that's such a beautiful color for you. So she found it, and it's Wet n Wild.
And it was 99 cents.
Love it. And it's their 216 Be Like Boy, and it's called Under Your Spell. And that is so gorgeous. There, you can see it a little bit better that way. Yep. So it's a deep, deep, deep burgundy. And it's just so gorgeous, and it's like one of those colors that looks good on everybody. It really, really does. And yeah, and it was 99 cents.
Yeah.
Right, from Wet n Wild. They've been around for so long. I really love Wet n Wild. So we share a lot of stuff. So Annie's not a black nail polish person.
I don't think so. I might be sometime.
This is Wet and Wild too.
Mhm.
So, but I am. I love black nail polish, and even more now. And so this is Wet and Wild. This is their fast dry. They have this fast dry line, which is great for people like myself that always feel like we need to be doing something. I gotta serve the web. I can't even wait for my nails to dry. So I got this also, and I think it was this might have been $1.99 or something, but it's it's called Ebony Hates Chris. You know, everybody hates. It's called Ebony Hates Chris. Isn't that just so cool? I love that. I like it even more now. And so I'm like really wanting to like get into the black fingernails, and I keep my nails really short because I like to, I love to cook and everything, and I really like to get really personal with my food, and I don't want to worry about my nails. I just don't want to be in a place where I'm like, oh, my nail, like that. So I keep my nails pretty short. Um, so I like little short black nails. It's kind of like, very sophisticated, gothy. And then this one, I'm sure we both will use. This is so much fun. This is wet. Oh, it's all wet and wild. Wet and wild. We're here. We want to be ambassadors for Wet and Wild. So this is Wet and Wild. It was one of their glitters. This is also a fast dry, which is great. And this is called Party of Five Glitters. Okay, so I think over there is a little bit better. So it's a little bit hard to see, but it has every color.
That's better.
Yeah, under the rainbow. Very Christmassy too. A lot of red and green.
Mhm.
A lot of red and green. So I'm gonna put it over the black, and maybe just like do like one nail or something with glitter, one or two nails with glitter, but it'll look good. I mean, over a lot of colors.
Mhm.
Okay, so and then we got a Wet and Wild clear nail protector because I mean, cooking and when you have your hands in water all the time, I mean, polish just chips, you know. And I was going to buy some press-ons. Years ago, every now and again I would buy press-on nails, and they would come in the package, and there would be like a lot of them, and you would get a little thing of glue that would last forever. And so you could just keep doing sets of them over and over again. Now it looks like they've improved them, and so they peel off. They have like a peel tab and then press on, but they stay on for a week, and then what do? You throw them in the trash? Oh my! Oh no! See, that's what I mean about that. Just didn't fit our budget. Okay, not at all. So I was like, that's really stupid to spend $9 on that. We got all of this stuff for $9. So this is Wet and Wild, and it's a protector top coat. Okay, so that's all this is, in hopes that my polish will stay on a little bit longer. And I also bought some gloves for when I wash dishes. so, so I'm gonna try that. For like all of this stuff was $9. Okay, and I was gonna buy one thing of nails until I realized when I started reading the box, I'm like, this is like one time use. If any of you out there know how to, if you could use them over again with glue or something, then maybe I'll think about it, but I'm not really sure how that would ever be a good idea. so so we got all of this stuff, and all of it is Wet and Wild except for the Rimmel London. That's the lip lacquer, and once again it's called Stargazer. It's very, very, very pretty, very pretty. And this was under $3. So that's all at Walgreens in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Thank you. So so anyway, once again, we've had so much fun, and we really love doing this. It just seems like it's so much easier and more relaxed than when we used to record the podcast. Um, I mean, this is so much easier to, fix if something goes wrong or, lots of times when you're on the phone recording those podcasts, it gets glitchy and, it's just, we never knew this was going to be so much easier and so much more fun.
It is. It's a lot of fun. And when we did the podcasts, I was sentenced to the bathroom, which we called Studio B. And because there's a delay
Yeah.
on the recording,
Exactly.
and so I would hear Kim twice.
It's
So
distracting.
we couldn't be in the same room.
Yeah.
But this way, I can look at her, refer to
Yeah.
her. It works out so much better, and it's so much more fun.
It really is. It is a lot more fun because when you're doing, for those of you who do podcasts, um, you know that when you're recording just your voice, it's such a different thing because people can't really see your expressions. We can't see each other's expressions, or maybe when we want to ask each other a question or something like that, it's totally blind, So you don't really have that, and you have to be so in tuned all the time to see if the other person is maybe wrapping up, their point or something like that.
It's so much easier to interrupt you this way.
Yeah. Yes, I'm glad. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
So, so we want to thank you all so much. Please subscribe below and share with us. Also, our blog is iWonder Sisterhood, iWonderSisterhood.com, and I always put it in the notes as well. Please go and subscribe because we really, really want to do some giveaways. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Every Saturday we record a conversations with the iWonder sisters, and every Sunday we'll be recording the Love and Libations, and we're continuing our talk and sharing on our work with doTERRA essential oils. So we have a lot to say about how we've been using them, how they make us feel, all the different ways that we found we can use them. Also, we have a great diffuser and that we've been using over the past week, and it's just wonderful. So, so we thank you again.
Thank you.
And happy holidays to everybody. We hope you have a great Thanksgiving weekend. There's the Chloe at Zen Master Chloe on Twitter. And we're at iWonder Sisters on Twitter, at Zen Master Chloe and iWonder Sisters on Twitter. So we hope to see you there. We do a lot of tweeting. So thanks, everybody.
Bye.
It's time for lunch leftovers.